What's up, good people of YouTube? Hey, I've got a 2024 Westinghouse Generator wh3700ixLTC. So here's a little backstory. I got this about a year ago from Amazon, and out of the box, it would not run unless it was on choke. So if I'm running on choke and I start it, all is good. As it starts to warm up, I start to move choke off. And I get to about right there, and the engine would over rev, and it would die. So I contacted Westinghouse, probably sent them 5 emails and 3 or 4 voicemails, and it took them 24 days to get back to me. So in between that time, I thought I had a carburetor issue. It was not a carburetor issue. There's a step-down motor or a stepper motor, something like that, that's connected to the carb that's ran by the board on the inverter. And I noticed that was acting kind of wacky to me. So I disconnected the mechanicals of it. And guess what? This thing would run fine once it was out of choke. But because it wasn't communicating correctly, it still wouldn't power anything. But it would still run off a choke. So that told me there was something else going on. Westinghouse finally called me back, like I said, about 24, 25 days later, and they had me send them a video, which I'll try to attach to this to show you what it's doing, and told me it was a bad inverter and they would send me a new one out, and I could either replace it myself with no instructions, or I could send it out to a small engine repair place and they would pay for it, but they picked the small engine repair place. The first couple I called on the list that were close to me were no longer in business or didn't deal with Westinghouse any longer. So I'm going to show you, it's about a 30-minute job, maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour if you're struggling. But you do have to take these side panels off. These are just kind of a beauty panel to get to the kind of plastic frame. There's one on each side. This door has to come off. This has to come off. The top does not have to come off. As you see, I've already cheated and started a little bit. There's 3 screws on top of the gas tank. Those have to come off. Gas cap can stay on. There's screws here and here and here and here that come out. To get these side panels out, you just take out these nuts. The screws are Phillips and the nuts are 10 millimeter. Of course, you got to take this door off because it screws into place. Sorry, I'm not the best camera guy. Once you take these 4 out here, these just pop right off. And then, of course, like I said, I started early, but you've got some of these 10 millimeters into this plastic frame that have to come off. I guess those quiet it down a little bit, but like I said, they're just beauty covers. Same thing. You have to take the 10 millimeters out of here. This can stay on because you're really pulling the other side off. So let me get the rest of the screws out and I'll get back to you. All right, so I paused the video quickly just so I could get the rest of these screws out. So these 3 are out. Those are Phillips. There are some Phillips on the blue side of this. And then once I got down to the plastic frame, again, those are 10 millimeter. So the first thing you want to do is on the filter side of the generator, which if you're facing this side, it's the left side. Filter side, you're just going to want to pull this up a little bit. And then you want to got to move this gas tank out of the way. You do not have to unplug or uninstall the gas tank. You just got to kind of lift it out of the way a little bit. Let me pause again. All right, so now I just barely moved the gas tank out of the way and I was able to lift the cover up a little higher. So your goal is you want to get to this inverter. It's got the plugs in it. And so far, like I said, I've only used a Phillips and a 10 millimeter. All right, let me pause this and I'll do some more work, get the front kind of away from there. All right, now I've got the front end away from there a little bit. It doesn't have to come all the way out. But you can see the wires from the inverter. So this has to be unplugged. This has to be unplugged. This has to be unplugged. That has to be unplugged. And I believe that's all the plugs. So let me get those 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs off the inverter, and I'll come back to you. All right, now that I've got those connectors undone, that bottom one's the hardest. Just to give you a tip, you've really got to press in. I had to use a screwdriver to kind of press in the middle and then pull it out with a finger. But once you get all those off, these are 8mm bolts. You got one here, one here, one here. That's on the left side. There's also one on the front. And then you got 3 more over here. 8mm, 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 8mm. And then you'll take that unit out, the inverter unit, and reinstall in the reverse. I'm not going to take it all the way out. It'll only take me maybe 5 or 10 minutes to get that out, but there's really no reason to. And then we'll put it all back together. And I'll show you it running once I'm done. Alright, she's back together. Kind of didn't get these clips right on the front, but that's alright. But she's running. To the guy on Reddit, I hope this helps you out. To everybody else, same thing. Again, it's not a step-by-step, but it's an overview to get you where you need to go. Alright, see ya.